period on the 150th lap, and the leaders, Davey Allison on the top and Morgan Shepherd on the bottom as their respective crews go to work. Morgan is going to get out fast. He leaves the pits already with 2 tire changes, and Davey Allison is going to get a 4 tire change. Remember, we are under caution now because of Greg Sachs, who has come in contact with the wall over in turn number 2, and there is his car. Greg Sachs bringing out our 5th caution period of the day, and now some of the cars begin to move out of pit road, including Allison. And here's Jack Arute with a call to the Darrell Waltrip stop.
Well, the problem that has been plaguing Darrell Waltrip is a rubber that they put on the right front spring. They were trying to take it out the last time during caution, and now the crew is going back to work again with a big wrench, and they're trying to pull that rubber out. They've accomplished the task, and now they're going to put the tire back on, and they're going to, as you can see from the crew cam, Eddie Dickerson goes to work. He completes his task, and they are going to change all 4 tires. Now, he's at the back of the pack, so he can have the luxury of this because pit position isn't all as important to him as others. So they're continuing to work here. Let's check in with Jerry Punch.
Well, we mentioned Morgan Shepherd a minute ago. He did not change tires. He simply looked at the 4 Hoosier tires that were on his car, added a can and a half of gasoline, whereas Davey Allison did make a 4 tire change. Could be a critical move. Remember, tire wear isn't that important here, but fellows up in the booth, I wonder if that'll affect them on all these last 20 laps or so.
Well, it'll be interesting to see. Let's take a look at the replay of the crash of Greg Sachs. He was already down on the inside, slipped back up into the track, clipped the wall on the outside, then shot back down across the racetrack. And you can see the pieces flying from the car as it comes to rest down on the grassed area.
I'd watched Greg Sachs just a couple of laps before that, and he was with Michael Waltrip and Jim Sauter. And Jack Arute has an answer to one of our questions.
Well, actually, an answer to what Jerry had supposed about Morgan Shepherd coming on. And Jerry, as you said, Morgan didn't take on tires. And this crew up at my side with Davey Allison, they did. They had to, Jerry, because of the fact that during the last caution period, they elected not to take any tires on. They did a gas and go, and they were gambling on fuel. And with the caution coming out now, they said, hey, we better change tires now. We've got the luxury of time.
And Jack Wood Brothers did a great job of getting Neil Bonnet out. Also, we might mention Neil Bonnet in the Citgo Ford. He did not change tires either. They had fuel in the car, so he brought him in, put 1 can of fuel in. They hope that's going to be enough. It should be enough. We have 152 laps complete, 188 comprised. This Winston 500, so it should be enough for Neil Bonnet, but that put him up front, so they're hoping possibly the Citgo Ford will have a shot at winning it.
Well, it's interesting that the 2 cars that did not take on tires, Morgan Shepherd and Neil Bonnet, both are on Hoosier tires now and will be on Hoosier tires the rest of the race.
So we're setting up now for the conclusion of the Winston 500 here at Talladega. 152 laps complete out of 188. Greg Sachs' car is being pulled into the garage area after having hit the wall. And the signal has gone out to the drivers on the racetrack that next time around we will be getting the green flag. Well, our continuing coverage of NASCAR Winston Cup racing has brought us to the very deep south for stop number 9 on the 1988 schedule. Let's travel beyond the gates to see what's nearby Talladega Superspeedway. The town of Talladega is a small one located about 40 miles east of Birmingham. Just outside the gates of the track, but still on the Speedway property, is the International Motorsports Hall of Fame, where race fans can step back into the past to relive some great moments. The great Fireball Roberts swept both races at Daytona in 1962 in this Smokey Yunick prepared car. Also on display, what was then the world's fastest race car that Art Malone drove here at Talladega. Curtis Turner was the NASCAR convertible champion in this number 26 Ford. A wide variety of cars are on display, including passenger cars and even sprint cars. Also, just beyond the gates of Talladega Superspeedway, last Friday night, our Benny Parsons was auctioning off one of his hats of the week for the Alabama Institute for the Blind and Deaf. Phil Barkdahl was the auctioneer, and the bidding was fast and furious between Bill Elliott and Davey Allison. The winner, Davey Allison, he pays $350 for the hat. But the real winner, the Alabama Institute for the Blind and Deaf.
Boy, that was a wild time, that auction. Bill Barton, what an auctioneer that guy is.
He's also a very fine race driver, has shown quite a bit of ability and strength here today. And now the green flag comes out on lap number 154 as we resume competition, and Neil Bonnet is leading the Winston 500.
Bill Elliott was running along second in the Coors Mellon Ford Thunderbird. Didn't get a good jump, and look at Morgan Shepherd going for the lead by Neil Bonnet. And he has it.
Oh, Shepherd looks so strong.
Well, he really does.
Harry Gant is to the inside. And he goes into second place, passing Neil Bonnet. Here comes Martin along in car number 6. And Martin has third, forcing Neil high on the racetrack.
Neil's trying to come back on the outside. Now, Phil Elliott will choose Neil Bonnet. That's who'll win this race. But if Elliott chooses Martin, that's who's going to win.
But if Harry Gant and Morgan Shepherd can stay hooked up like they are there right now, they could possibly pull away. And those two North Carolina neighbors, Morgan living in Conover, and about 15 miles north of there is Taylorsville. That's where Harry Gant lives. Both of them started their racing careers at the Hickory Speedway at Hickory, North Carolina. And, in fact, I have the good fortune of seeing both of those race drivers start their driving career at Hickory on the dirt track there. And here they are, battling it out for the Winston 500.
Terry Labonte has joined the number 6 car of Mark Martin on the inside. That's Ricky Rudd at number 26. Here comes Davey Allison also on the inside line.
Davey came out of the pits, in 10th place on the restart as a result of taking on 4 tires. There he is right behind the Bud car of Terry Labonte in car number 11. Bill Parsons back there. All of those drivers scrambling. Still at least 20 cars in the lead lap.
In terms of car strength today, it seems to me that the 2 strongest cars, or among the 2 strongest cars, have been Davey Allison and Morgan Shepherd, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Well, I agree with you, but I think we have to put Harry Gant in that category because he had run strong up there with them early, and then he had an unscheduled pit stop and just never got back in sequence with them, but he's back there now in sequence, right there with Morgan Shepherd. They've done a good job of pulling away a little bit from that pack.
And now Bill Elliott is hung on the outside as Davey comes to the inside. So does Terry Labonte, and now Bill moves down on the track to drop in behind Davey Allison.
Bill Labonte was waiting for somebody to come along and pick him up and help to push him up there to those front 2 cars. Once they got by him, he didn't really have that much help. But now Terry Labonte and Davey Allison come along. They're going to give somebody some help. Might be helping themselves.
So Harry Gant looking for another win this year in Winston Cup competition. He, of course, was the winner of the race we televised earlier in Darlington. And our question that we had to Harry Gant over the weekend, a very simple one. Can you win this race here this weekend at Talladega Superspeedway?
Definitely. It's a good car. That Oldsmobile we have here is the same car that Phil won the race here in. Same car. So we got an engine that's going to be real strong. Be here tonight for the race, our race engine. And it was similar to our practice engine. And, it would run 192, 93 miles an hour. So with the spoiler 20 degrees, I think we'll be able to run, over 190 with the car.
Well, indeed, Harry Gant would like to win it here. As he said, it's the same car that Phil Parsons rode to victory here in the Winston 500 a year ago. But Gant had 2 engines built by Leo Jackson, and everyone knows how strong Leo is in the horsepower department. They brought one down for qualifying. It made about 8 laps and then came apart. They had a problem with a tappet sticking in the top of the engine. They said the sister engine down here just arrived here late yesterday afternoon. That's what Gant was talking about. My engine will be here tonight. It came in. They put it in the car. They had their fingers crossed. This engine will be as strong as the one they had for qualifying, and indeed is strong, if not stronger, and Gant would like to win it as they mix it up front. Bob?
Right at the tri-oval, we see some maneuvering going on as Terry Labonte and Mark Martin both separate themselves and go high on the track, leaving Neil Bonnet on the low line, and Neil begins to fall back. Morgan Shepherd has the lead now, and look at Bonnet about to fall to the rear of this freight train.
Well, you got 5 Fords running 3rd through 7th position. You got Pontiac